Hello YouTube. Today I've got another video for you guys. Today's video is going to be a little interesting. It's a topic I like to talk about frequently with my friends, and it's something that kind of gets brought up a lot. And that is basically which caliber is a must-have for any prepper. And when you start asking people, they're always like, oh yeah, I want definitely a 9mm pistol, definitely want a shotgun, definitely want some kind of a large rifle, like an AR-15 or an AK or something like that. And more often than not, people skip right over probably what I would consider the number one go-to gun if I could only carry one gun in a situation like that. And that gun, for me, would be the 22. Now, I'm not saying that the 22 is the best gun by any means. I'm just saying that if there was a situation where you had to go find food or venture out of your home in search of resources or something like that, if there was a WROL or SHTF catastrophic event or something happen, you'd probably, if you've prepared, you'd probably have access to a bunch of different weaponry, but for me it always comes back to the 22. And a lot of times when I bring it up, a lot of people are like, oh, a 22, that gun's a joke. And I'm here to tell you guys that it's no joke. Any kind of gun is going to be possibly lethal. It doesn't matter if you've got the biggest gun in the world or the smallest gun. I would never, ever want to be standing downrange of anyone firing anything. So when people laugh at a 22, it's kind of like, okay, well fine, why don't you go stand downrange and tell me how much this hurts? Obviously you can never do that, that's bad. But it's just a point of, you can make fun of it all you want, but it's still a gun, it still fires a projectile, and it's still deadly. Now, with that said, one of the reasons that I think the 22 is an excellent gun is because of the just sheer capacity of ammunition that you would be able to carry on you. That is a huge factor. And I've just got a little scale here to show you guys the difference in the weight of some of this ammunition. So, let me just turn this on, and I'm going to weigh a few different types of ammo here. So, first up, we've got the Hornady Zombie Max. This is 223. This is only 20 rounds in here. And you can see that, let's just change to ounces. So this, just for 20 rounds, it weighs in at 9 ounces. So that's our starting point there. So the 223 rounds for 20. Weigh approximately 9 ounces with the box. Now, this here is just CCI Mini Mag. It's 100 rounds of 22 long rifle. And we're going to throw this up here, and you can see this is 13.7 ounces. So, on to the next one. Actually, I'm going to switch these two. Never mind, I won't. Okay, the next one is the 40 cal. This is 50 rounds of 40 caliber handgun ammunition. And this is 1 pound, 15 ounces, so almost 2 pounds. So 1 pound, 15 ounces. So as you can see, this thing is heavy. But then again, it's also a much larger caliber. This here is 380. And this is also 50 rounds, and you can see that this is 1 pound, 2.9 ounces. And last but not least, I've got some 12 gauge ammunition here. This is just 25, I think it's 7.5. Let's see what this is. Yep, 7.5 bird shot. And this is 2 pounds, 4.3 ounces. So 2 pounds, 4.3 ounces. So, as you can see, just the amount of ammunition that you can carry for the weight is way better with the 22. Okay, I'm back. I've just updated the little totals down here, and as you can see, I've converted everything over to the same number of rounds. So, Let's start off with the 223. So if we wanted to carry 100 rounds of 223 with us, we would need 5 boxes of 223 in order to meet the same number of rounds as the 22LR. Now that would also bring it up from 9 ounces to 2 pounds 13 ounces, so almost 3 full pounds compared to the 14-ish ounces of the 22LR. And then that's not even considering the extra space, because this box, if you look at the side of it, imagine 4 more of these in order to make up the same count of ammunition. So you're talking about 5 times the space of a single box. So 5 boxes worth of space in whatever bag you're carrying it all in. So the extra weight plus 5 boxes of that. Now the 22 I didn't do anything to because it's already at 100 rounds and it's at 13.7 ounces. And if we go to the 40 cal, then we would need 2 boxes of this, which as you can see, this 22 is basically, 2 boxes could almost take up the same space as a single box of this. So basically this is, if you carried 100 rounds, you'd need the second box. So really it would take up 4 times as much space as the 100 rounds of 22LR. And if you look at the weight of it, it's almost 4 times the weight, coming in at just under 4 pounds. Actually, it's over 4 times the weight, isn't it? Yep. So, same thing goes for the 380 here. It goes up to 2 pounds, 6 ounces, so a little under 2.5 pounds. And you're still talking the same space pretty much as the 40, which is still 4 times bigger than this. So, space-wise, compared to any of these, the 22 so far takes up a lot less, and it has a lot less weight. So, to the last one, the 12 gauge, 25 rounds, it would take 4 boxes of this to equal 100 rounds, and that would come out to 9 pounds, 1.2 ounces. So that's a huge difference, and as you can see, the 22, it's not quite the same length and stuff, but the height of the box is pretty much double. So 12 gauge takes up a ton of space and it's very heavy. So that's something you probably wouldn't want to carry a lot of anyways. But let's say if you're going hunting, you don't know how many shots you're going to miss. If you're going bird hunting, you don't know how far away everything's going to be. You don't know a lot of stuff. I mean, I hope you wouldn't miss 25 shots, but you never know. And same thing goes for the rest of these. So just looking at the sheer size and the weight of them, so far the winner is the 22 because you can fit a lot more rounds in a lot smaller space at a lot less weight on your pack. As you know, right now you probably don't worry too much about how everything weighs, but when you're trying to find your next meal every single day, burning calories isn't something that you always want to do. So the less weight, the less calories you're wasting trying to travel around and find food or forage or do whatever you're trying to do. So just from those aspects, the weight and size, the 22 holds out. And let's think about something that not a lot of people think about as well, and that is the sound. If you shoot a 12 gauge or a 223 or a 40 or even like 380, they've all got very loud, noticeable sounds. You can hear them probably for miles on a quiet day. And if there was some kind of SHTF event, then there probably wouldn't be a lot of noise. You don't realize how quiet the world is until there's something like a power outage. So next time your power goes out, take a step outside and just listen to how quiet everything gets. It's kind of creepy, but with that quietness, it makes it a lot easier to hear sounds from like all these guns. Now, the 22 does have a small report to it. I mean, it does have some sound. I'm not saying it's quiet, but they also make subsonic 22 rounds. So basically what that means is the bullets themselves never hit the sound barrier and you don't get that little crack from when they cross over it. And that makes them almost super quiet. So 22s are pretty quiet as they are, and if you get the subsonic rounds, then you're talking about, being whisper quiet at, 100 yards or 200 yards. So that is a great advantage. If you're trying to hunt small game or something like that, and you fire off a 12 gauge or a 223 and you miss, or even if you hit it, you're still scaring everything in that area. Everything's going to go scatter. Birds are going to fly away. Animals might run away because that sound is just so loud. And same thing, if you're trying to not let other people know where you're at, that sound is also going to travel and give you away. So the 22 has a great advantage because it can go, 100 yards, 300 yards on a great day if you're an excellent marksman, but still, it's a very accurate round if you've got decent ammunition, and it's quiet. So the quietness of the round is another great plus. So, right now you're looking at being able to carry way more 22 ammunition than you could anything else. You're talking about way less space in your pack, so you have room for other items. And you're talking about something that's way quieter. So, back to my earlier conversation, the 22 round is obviously a lot smaller than, some of the standard rounds. Now, that doesn't mean that it's not going to do damage. Just because it's such a small round doesn't mean that this little thing is just going to bounce off stuff randomly. And now, it's true that it doesn't have the same power as some of the bigger calibers, but if you look at some of the stuff that you're going to be using it for, if you're just hunting small to medium game, you're not going to have any problems with it. It's going to come down more to shot placement. And when I took a class before, the instructor had a solid wood door. I think it was 1.5 or 2 inches thick, whatever it is. And it had all kinds of holes from shotguns, 40 cal, 9mm, 22, and pretty much all kinds of calibers on there. And when he flipped the door around, every single round went through that. And, at first some people weren't sure if they were going to go through or not, but every single round, including the 22, penetrated that solid wood door. So, it just kind of shows you some of the force involved with these rounds. it may be small, but it still does make a bang, it still does shoot a projectile, and, it's going to be a deterrent to, if you're using this for self-protection, or it's going to help you find dinner. So it's still capable of doing harm, it's still capable of doing a lot, and it comes in a small form, so it's easy to carry and you can carry a lot of them. Because you never know what's going to happen. You might only need, 2-3 rounds, or you might need, 50 or 100. So it's really up to you. Obviously, if you have the ability to carry, multiple weapons with you, that's probably going to be the better solution as long as you can afford the space and the weight. But I really think that a lot of people have been underestimating the abilities of the 22. And yes, it's shooting this compared to shooting the 40 caliber pistols. There's no kick on this thing. It's a great gun, but it just doesn't sound as intimidating as some of those other guns. But I'll tell you one thing, there's not a person that you could meet that you wouldn't point this at that wouldn't try to get out from in front of it, because guns are dangerous, no matter if it's a small little 22 or a 40 cal or 50 or whatever you're shooting, it's still dangerous. So never ever point a gun at people, by the way. I'm just trying to make a point that I don't care who you are, you're never going to get in front of a loaded gun. It's just not a smart thing to do. So, I don't know. I think you guys should really definitely pay attention to the 22 because it is a very popular round and it is a very convenient round, and there's a lot of guns out there. And that brings me to my last point, which is 22 ammunition, when you can find it, is very cheap. For example, I don't think I have the price stickers on this anymore, but I believe that this box here is probably somewhere between $15. Actually, it's probably like $12 to $15, something like that, for 20 rounds. And this here, I think I picked up for it's like $8.99, and that was a little bit expensive. But if you find a good deal, you could probably get these for 7-8 cents a round. And the 40 cal it depends. It's probably around 30 cents each, and the 380s actually a little bit more probably now because it's harder to find because a lot more people are carrying it. But for the price range, when you can find the 22, you can pick a lot of it up in bulk for very low prices per round. If you're talking about practicing a lot, practicing at 30 cents a round compared to 7 or 8 cents a round, I mean, that makes a huge difference in the long run. So that's another thing to keep in mind. So there's just so many pluses about the 22 that I really think people in general just give it a bad name for no reason. They just think it's such a small round that there's no way that thing could do any damage or even be worth having. But I am here to tell you that that is not true at all. I would never say that I would only want one certain type of ammunition or one certain gun or anything like that. But I think that if you want to have some kind of a gun and you're not sure which one to have, or even if you have one already and you don't have a 22, I would suggest picking one up just because it's a great choice to have. It's it's a lot of fun. It's cheap when you can find the ammo for it. And I don't know, it's a great addition to any prep kit. So for anyone who doesn't have one, like I said, I would strongly recommend picking one up just because of all the reasons I mentioned so far. And I really hope I can shine some light back on this ammunition because it's great. I mean, I think that everyone should have the 22. I guess you guys can let me know what you think as well. I'd love to hear it. Make sure to leave comments below. And I will see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you like my videos. And I'll see you soon.